Game changers. In golf, it's a term that gets used by marketing departments to describe clubs that have broken new ground when it comes to technology. But rarely is it used to describe a club that, by its very design, caused changes to the rules of golf, lawsuits, and just a level of conflict unheard of in this game that prides itself on its civility. Well, it is in this week's Golf Barons Reboot. The great golf club engineer Karsten Solheim, the main man behind the PING brand, was no stranger to controversy during his time in golf, often butting heads with the USGA and R&A organisations. The Norwegian-born innovator first clashed with the game's governing bodies in 1967 over PING's unique ball-namic putters, which were ultimately outlawed due to having a bent shaft below the grip. Seemingly, Solheim wanted to make the game easier and chose to use his engineering expertise as his foundation. Equally, the R&A and USGA were desperate to protect the integrity of the game as they saw it. Yet to outsiders, it appeared they made PING, through the targeting of Solheim, somewhat of a scapegoat in that mission. So when PING released the iconic i2 irons with its controversial U-grooves in 1984, the resulting conflict between the manufacturer and governing bodies seemed a mere formality. To the USGA and R&A, the i2s provided a golfer an unfair advantage, while to Solheim it was nothing more than an engineering feat, and a game-changing one at that. Yet according to the powers that be, the grooves in the i2 irons were too wide, by 5/1000ths of an inch, a measurement PING argued was arbitrary at best. Now, to put that in perspective, that's the equivalent of a coat of paint, or half the width of a human hair. Now, the most iconic of the heads was made of beryllium copper, which gave it an almost implausible balance of feel and durability. Now, the beryllium made the copper significantly stronger while still allowing it to keep its softer qualities. But there was one downside. Long-time exposure to beryllium is shown to increase the risk of lung cancer. While the groove issue was finally settled by the PGA Tour in 1993, it reared its ugly head again when Phil Mickelson put an i2 wedge into play in 2008. It led to another top player suggesting lefty was on the wrong side of, shall we say, honest play, and subsequently an agreement was reached ensuring the grooves would no longer be used on tour. Despite the concessions in the US, the R&A held its ground on the i2s and banned the U-grooves from January 1, 1996. However, tests conducted by the University of Nottingham proved there were also non-conforming clubs from other suppliers being played on tour. Yet it seemed PING was singled out for some reason on this occasion. We'll let you make your own conclusions why. Now, whichever side of the U-groove debate you find yourself on, one thing that's hard to argue with is that the PING Eye2 was, and in our eyes still is, a game-changing iconic club, and one certainly worthy of being rebooted.